angelic beings, heralds of harmony since the dawn of creation, witnesses to the birth of humanity, custodians of Eden's gates, champions of divine justice, guides of the chosen, and messengers of God's grace. They embody courage, embodying the essence of righteousness and wielders of heavenly influence. In this captivating video, I delve into the captivating realm of biblical angels, inviting viewers to explore the profound wisdom within the pages of the Bible, drawing them closer to the divine teachings. If you found this video enlightening, remember to give it a thumbs up, and for more captivating content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Angels grace the pages of the Old Testament 108 times, and the New Testament 165 times, each person blessed with their own celestial guardian. Though their numbers exceed 100 million, their exact count remains a mystery, as legend tells of the legion who fell alongside Lucifer, expelled from the celestial realm. Angelic hierarchies are intricately divided into 9 ranks, often referred to as choirs, each holding a distinct role in the celestial order. These classifications are drawn from scriptural references, although they don't necessarily correlate directly with hierarchical power. Yet, as we ascend the celestial ladder, the responsibilities of each rank grow weightier, drawing them closer to the divine presence. Commencing our journey from the outermost echelon of heaven, we encounter the 9th choir, simply known as angels. These celestial beings are intimately intertwined with the physical realm, often recognized as guardian angels. From the moment of conception until the final breath, they stand as unwavering sentinels, engaged in spiritual warfare on behalf of those they protect. Frequently, they manifest in human guise, appearing amidst life's trials to test the spirit of mortals. As Hebrews chapter 13 admonishes, "Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares." It is widely conjectured that these angels, akin to those who accompanied the Lord during Abraham's time, embody this rank. In the plains of Mamre, Abraham finds himself seated at his tent's entrance during the sweltering noon. Suddenly, the divine presence descends, and he beholds 3 figures standing nearby. Hastening to greet them, he bows low and extends hospitality, recognizing their celestial nature. Genesis chapter 18 recounts, "And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him, and when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground." Abraham and his wife Sarah quickly attended to the needs of the 3 visitors. After eating and drinking, the Lord, accompanied by his 2 angels, left for Sodom. The Lord explained that he was going to Sodom because the sins of its people were severe, and he had heard their cries of suffering. He would investigate whether the situation was as dire as reported. Abraham interceded, asking the Lord to spare the city if 10 righteous people could be found there. The Lord agreed to this condition, and then the 2 angels proceeded toward Sodom, where Abraham's nephew Lot and his family resided. Upon their arrival, Lot met them at the city gates, respectfully bowing and urging them to avoid spending the night in the open street, but to stay at his house instead, hinting at the urgency and danger outside. Before long, the rest of the city learned of the newcomers. Driven by corrupt desires, the men of Sodom, both young and old from every part of the city, surrounded Lot's house and demanded to have relations with the visitors. Lot tried to negotiate with the mob, offering his 2 virgin daughters instead, in an attempt to protect his guests under his hospitality. The crowd grew aggressive toward Lot, threatening him for trying to judge them. At that critical moment, the angels pulled Lot back inside and secured the door, then struck the attackers with blindness, rendering them unable to find the door. these events display the formidable abilities of the angels, who could inflict instant blindness with a simple gesture. Throughout these chapters in Genesis, the angels not only act as protectors, but also demonstrate how heavenly beings can manifest physically on earth. They engage in everyday human activities like eating and drinking and potentially sleeping, showing no visible concern. This narrative underscores the importance of hospitality, for you never know when you might be hosting angels from heaven. Moving on to our next category, we focus on the eighth choir, the archangels. Derived from the Greek term for chief angel, archangels are known for their significant power. While the Holy Bible explicitly names only one archangel, some believe in the existence of others. We begin with Archangel Michael, who is mentioned in both the Old and New Testaments. In the Old Testament, the book of Daniel, also known as Daniel's prophecy, is divided into two parts. The first part recounts Daniel's life and challenges under the reigns of kings Nebuchadnezzar II, Belshazzar, Darius I, and Cyrus II. The latter part of the book details Daniel's visions and dreams. Specifically in Daniel chapter 10, while Daniel is by the river Tigris, a gloriously attired man appears before him. I propose that this figure, who also mentions Michael, might be the pre-incarnate form of Jesus Christ, considering his description and significant role in other biblical texts. This encounter rejuvenates Daniel and restores his strength. Chapter 10 begins by stating that in the 3rd year of King Cyrus of Persia, a revelation came to Daniel, also called Belteshazzar, which was profound and long-term. During this period, Daniel fasted and mourned for 3 weeks. On the 24th day, as he stood by the river Hiddekel, he saw a vision of a man dressed in linen with a belt of fine gold. His body resembled beryl, his face shone like lightning, his eyes were like fiery torches, his arms and feet gleamed like polished brass, and his voice sounded like a multitude. The presence of this figure was so overwhelming that Daniel's companions fled in fear, though they did not see the vision themselves. Overwhelmed and weakened by the vision, Daniel fell into a deep sleep face down until the man touched him and set him on his hands and knees. He told Daniel he was greatly loved and urged him to understand and listen, as he had been sent in response to Daniel's prayers. However, the prince of the kingdom of Persia opposed him for 21 days until Michael, one of the chief princes, came to assist, allowing him to stay with the kings of Persia. Indeed, these verses offer profound insights into the interplay between faith, spiritual warfare, and divine intervention. Daniel's act of fasting exemplifies the discipline of subduing the body to nurture the spirit, thereby amplifying the potency of his prayers and strengthening his connection to the divine. The spiritual realm, as depicted in these passages, operates in tandem with the physical world. Our actions, prayers, and spiritual fortitude can influence the unfolding of spiritual battles unseen to human eyes. Through Daniel's steadfast faith and spiritual discipline, the grip of the adversary upon the kingdom of Persia was loosened, paving the way for the intervention of Archangel Michael. Michael's designation as one of the chief princes signifies his exalted position among the celestial hierarchy, entrusted with the formidable task of combating spiritual forces that oppose divine purposes. This acknowledgement hints at the existence of other archangels, with Gabriel often cited as another prominent figure in Christian belief. Thus, these narratives serve as a poignant reminder of the interconnectedness between the physical and spiritual realms, urging believers to cultivate their faith, engage in spiritual disciplines, and remain vigilant in their spiritual battles, knowing that divine assistance is ever at hand. In Daniel chapter 8, Gabriel emerges as a central figure in the unfolding of prophetic visions. As Daniel witnesses the symbolic battle between the ram and the goat, a voice inquires about the duration until the fulfillment of the vision. Another figure, described as having the appearance of a man, stands before Daniel, and a voice from the divine realm commands Gabriel to elucidate the vision's meaning. This portrayal aligns with Gabriel's role as a divine messenger throughout Scripture. The depiction of angels bearing a human likeness underscores the profound connection between humanity and the divine. Just as humans are created in the image of God, angels, too, reflect elements of divine holiness. However, it is crucial to note that while angels may share a semblance of God's image, they do not possess His full likeness, setting humanity apart as God's pinnacle creation. Gabriel's significance as a messenger is highlighted in the New Testament, particularly in the Annunciation narratives. In Luke chapter 1, Gabriel appears to Zechariah, announcing the birth of John the Baptist, and later to the Virgin Mary, proclaiming the miraculous conception of Jesus Christ. These encounters underscore Gabriel's pivotal role in conveying divine messages and heralding significant events in the unfolding of God's plan. Thus, Gabriel emerges as a prominent figure in biblical narratives, embodying the essence of divine communication and serving as a conduit for the manifestation of God's will upon the earth. In the celestial hierarchy, the seventh choir comprises principalities, whose role transcends mere governance akin to earthly principalities. Rather, these angelic beings serve as guides and encouragers, inspiring individuals to deepen their spiritual practices and draw closer to the divine. Their influence extends to the realms of the arts and sciences, fostering creativity and intellectual pursuits in response to the prayers of the faithful. Moreover, principalities assume a pivotal role in the divine governance of nations, offering guidance and wisdom to national leaders during times of challenge and decision-making. Their celestial oversight ensures that nations remain aligned with divine principles and values. However, some theological interpretations suggest that certain principalities may have fallen from grace alongside the bearer of original sin, contributing to the spiritual discord within the earthly realm. This notion segues into our next category, the sixth choir, known as powers, which explores the dynamic interplay between celestial forces and spiritual conflict. The sixth celestial choir, known as powers, assumes a crucial role in spiritual warfare against the forces of darkness. These angelic beings stand as stalwart defenders, aiding humans in resisting temptations and overcoming the snares of sin. Through their encouragement and reminders of the triumph of good over evil, they empower individuals to uphold righteousness in the face of adversity. However, the relentless pursuit of evil, embodied by the originator of sin, persists in its endeavor to wreak havoc and destruction upon humanity. Despite the unwavering efforts of powers and other celestial beings, the battle against darkness remains ongoing and formidable. The imagery depicted in Revelation chapter 12 unveils a cosmic conflict of epic proportions. A great red dragon, symbolizing the archetypal adversary, seeks to devour the woman's child, representing the Messiah. A celestial war ensues in heaven, with Archangel Michael and his angelic hosts confronting the dragon and his legions. The outcome of this celestial clash results in the expulsion of the dragon, identified as the devil or Satan, along with his fallen angels, from the heavenly realm. This profound narrative underscores the perpetual struggle between good and evil, the tireless efforts of celestial beings in combating spiritual forces of darkness, and the ultimate victory of divine righteousness over malevolent deception. It serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring battle for the souls of humanity and the pivotal role played by celestial powers in upholding the cosmic order. The narrative of a third of heaven's angels falling alongside their master, Satan, resonates deeply within Christian theology, illustrating the consequences of rebellion and the allure of power and pride. As beings of immense spiritual potency, angels possess the capacity for positions of command and authority, as evidenced by the Archangel Michael's leadership in the celestial battle against Satan and his cohorts. While the identities of the angels who fought alongside Michael remain unspecified, it is plausible to surmise that they include the powers, whose primary responsibility involves engaging in spiritual warfare against demonic forces. This notion aligns with the belief that powers, as warriors in the celestial realm, would have been drawn into the conflict alongside their leader. Additionally, the principalities, tasked with overseeing nations and guiding them towards spiritual enlightenment, are implicated in the cosmic struggle between good and evil. It is within this context that Daniel's prayers are seen as instrumental in combating the spiritual forces influencing Persia, suggesting the interplay between human agency and celestial intervention in shaping the course of nations. The depiction of powers and principalities tempting nations to succumb to sin while rewarding them with forbidden knowledge and technology finds resonance in Ephesians chapter 6, which exhorts believers to don the spiritual armor of God in preparation for spiritual warfare against such malevolent forces. Thus, the belief in the roles of powers and principalities in the cosmic battle between light and darkness underscores the intricate dynamics of spiritual warfare and the ongoing struggle for the souls of humanity. Ephesians chapter 6 serves as a poignant reminder of the spiritual battle that believers face, urging them to equip themselves with the armor of God to withstand the cunning schemes of the devil and his cohorts. The enumeration of adversaries, including principalities, powers, rulers of darkness, and spiritual wickedness, underscores the multifaceted nature of spiritual warfare and the need for vigilant preparedness. Transitioning to the fifth celestial choir, known as virtues, we encounter angelic beings tasked with nurturing and strengthening the faith of individuals. Their divine mandate includes performing miracles on earth, albeit within the confines of natural law. As stewards of the natural order established by God, virtues employ their miraculous abilities to manifest divine intervention while remaining aligned with the inherent principles governing the universe. Unlike the supernatural feats attributed to Christ and his followers, whose faith enables them to transcend the natural order, the miracles performed by virtues operate within the framework of God's creation. Their interventions serve to inspire faith and illuminate the divine presence in the midst of human affairs. The scripture in Mark chapter 16 attests to the miraculous signs that accompany believers who walk in faith, reinforcing the profound connection between faith and divine manifestation. These signs, including the casting out of demons, speaking in new tongues, healing the sick, and protection from harm, serve as tangible demonstrations of God's power and presence in the lives of believers. Thus, the virtues embody the divine mandate to fortify faith, perform miracles within the natural order, and illuminate the transformative power of divine intervention in the lives of believers. The virtues indeed wield remarkable power over the natural world, including the ability to command elements such as weather patterns, storms, and earthquakes. This authority is evident in biblical accounts of significant events, such as the awe-inspiring display of lightning, thunder, and earthquakes that accompanied the giving of the stone tablets to Moses on Mount Sinai, as recounted in the book of Exodus. Transitioning to the fourth celestial choir, known as dominions or lordships, we encounter angelic beings entrusted with regulating the responsibilities of other angels while serving as conduits for God's mercy and love. As stewards of the divine order, dominions oversee the execution of God-given tasks, ensuring harmony and alignment with divine will. In biblical narratives, the intervention of dominions is evident in moments of profound significance and divine mercy. For example, during the time of Abraham and Lot, it is believed that dominions were dispatched to Sodom and Gomorrah, intervening in the judgment upon those cities. Additionally, in the story of Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son Isaac, it is the angel of the Lord, likely a dominion, who appears to prevent the sacrifice and affirm Abraham's faithfulness. The passage from Genesis chapter 22 vividly illustrates this divine intervention as the angel of the Lord calls out to Abraham, staying his hand and sparing Isaac's life. This manifestation of God's mercy and the affirmation of Abraham's faith highlight the role of dominions as bearers of divine compassion and guardians of God's chosen. Thus, the dominions stand as pillars of divine order and mercy, ensuring the fulfillment of God's will while extending His love and protection to humanity. The third celestial choir, known as thrones or ophanim, embodies symbols of God's justice and authority, serving as manifestations of divine governance and sovereignty. As elucidated by Paul of Tarsus in his letter to the Colossians, thrones are among the celestial beings created by God and exist to uphold His divine order and authority over all creation. In Colossians, Paul emphasizes that all things, both visible and invisible, including thrones, dominions, principalities, and powers, were created by and for God, underscoring their inherent connection to the divine and their role in the cosmic hierarchy. Thrones stand as emblematic representations of God's majestic authority, symbolizing His eternal reign over the universe. The imagery of thrones is also evoked in the book of Revelation, where the 24 elders are depicted as seated before God on their thrones, offering worship and adoration to the Almighty. Their acknowledgement of God's sovereignty and power reaffirms the centrality of thrones in the celestial hierarchy as beings intimately connected to the divine presence and authority. Thus, thrones serve as enduring symbols of God's justice, authority, and sovereignty, standing as guardians of divine order and participants in the celestial chorus that praises and magnifies the Almighty. The description of the ophanim, or thrones, as depicted in the book of Ezekiel, offers a vivid portrayal of their extraordinary appearance and celestial function. These celestial beings are depicted as wheels within wheels, adorned with holy flame and adorned with countless eyes. The imagery evokes a sense of awe and wonder, reflecting the otherworldly nature of these divine entities. Ezekiel's vision, recorded in chapter 10 of the book bearing his name, provides intricate details of the ophanim's appearance and movement. The wheels, described as having the color of a beryl stone, are depicted as being covered with eyes on their entire surface, symbolizing their all-seeing nature and intimate connection to divine wisdom and knowledge. Moreover, the coordination between the ophanim and the cherubim, another celestial order, is highlighted in Ezekiel's vision. The wheels move in tandem with the cherubim, indicating their symbiotic relationship and shared purpose in the celestial hierarchy. The enigmatic cry of "O wheel" further adds to the mystique surrounding these celestial beings, underscoring their transcendental nature and divine purpose. Overall, Ezekiel's vision provides a captivating glimpse into the celestial realm, offering insight into the intricate workings of the divine order and the awe-inspiring majesty of the ophanim, or thrones, as guardians of God's justice and authority. The passage from Ezekiel chapter 28 offers a profound insight into the identity and fall of Satan, shedding light on his former exalted position as an anointed cherub in the celestial hierarchy. The rebuke directed towards the king of Tyrus serves as a veiled reference to the spiritual entity behind his earthly reign, revealing Satan's origin and subsequent rebellion against God. In this passage, Satan is described as having dwelled in Eden, adorned with precious stones and endowed with wisdom and beauty. As the anointed cherub who covers, he held a position of honor and authority in the heavenly realm, walking among the stones of fire on the holy mountain of God. However, pride and iniquity corrupted Satan's heart, leading to his fall from grace and expulsion from the divine presence. His rebellion against God's sovereignty and his pursuit of self-glory resulted in his condemnation and ultimate demise, symbolized by his casting out of the mountain of God and his destruction by fire. The imagery of Satan's fall serves as a cautionary tale against the dangers of pride and rebellion, highlighting the consequences of turning away from God's righteousness and embracing sin. It also underscores the reality of spiritual warfare and the ongoing struggle between light and darkness in the cosmic realm. Thus, the passage from Ezekiel offers valuable insights into the identity and downfall of Satan, emphasizing the importance of humility, obedience, and fidelity to God's divine will in the face of temptation and spiritual adversity. Indeed, Ezekiel's prophecy directed towards the king of Tyre serves as a dual narrative, addressing both the earthly ruler and the spiritual entity behind his actions. The passage reveals insights into the origin and fall of Satan, tracing his descent from a position of honor as an anointed cherub to his rebellion and subsequent expulsion from the divine presence. Before his fall, Satan's role as a cherubim involved protecting God's glory and maintaining a constant record of events within the universe. Cherubim, as the Lord's throne bearers and attendants, symbolize the worship of God and serve as representatives of His Spirit on earth. They hold significant symbolic importance, as evidenced by their presence atop the Ark of the Covenant, where the mercy seat symbolized God's presence among His people. Throughout biblical history, cherubim are depicted as guardians and symbols of divine authority, their imagery adorning sacred spaces such as the Temple of Solomon and serving as a reminder of God's presence and protection. Even after humanity's expulsion from the Garden of Eden, a cherubim was stationed outside the garden, symbolizing the continued connection between God and His creation despite mankind's fall from grace. Thus, cherubim occupy a central role in biblical symbolism, embodying the divine attributes of protection, worship, and representation. Their presence underscores the ongoing relationship between God and humanity, serving as guardians and guides in the spiritual realm. The description of the seraphim in the book of Isaiah offers a profound glimpse into the celestial beings closest to the throne of God, serving as caretakers and perpetual worshipers of His glory. Their name, meaning burning ones, reflects the intense fervor and zeal with which they exalt the Lord in ceaseless praise. According to Isaiah's vision, the seraphim are depicted as majestic beings with 6 wings, using 2 to cover their faces, 2 to cover their feet, and 2 for flight. Their radiant presence is so intense that even other angelic beings cannot look upon them directly, underscoring their awe-inspiring nature and proximity to the divine presence. The seraphim's primary role is to proclaim the holiness of God, continuously chanting, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts," a declaration that reverberates throughout the heavenly realm and fills the temple with divine glory. Their worshipful praise resonates with such power that it causes the very foundations of the temple to tremble and the air to be filled with smoke, symbolizing the sanctity and majesty of God's presence. In Isaiah's encounter with the seraphim, their purifying touch with a live coal from the altar symbolizes the forgiveness and cleansing of sin, demonstrating the transformative power of God's grace to purify and renew the repentant soul. Overall, the depiction of the seraphim in Isaiah's vision offers a profound portrayal of their exalted status as celestial beings closest to the throne of God, their burning devotion and worshipful praise serving as a testament to the holiness and glory of the Almighty. In summary, angels represent the embodiment of righteousness, serving as celestial beings tasked with carrying out the divine will of the Lord. They are depicted as diverse and wondrous entities, reflecting the kaleidoscope of colors and riches inherent in God's creation. While sharing the image of God, angels often appear in human guise to interact with humanity without inciting fear. Angels possess the power to control elements such as the wind, rain, and storms, and they continually offer praise and worship to God's holy name. On the day of judgment, they will stand alongside the King of Kings in the battle against the fallen, who sought to disrupt the divine plan. The purpose of this video is to spark interest in the biblical texts, encouraging viewers to explore the original scriptures for themselves. Additional commentary and discussions on angels and related topics are welcome, and viewers are invited to leave comments sharing their thoughts. Support for the channel can be provided through platforms like Patreon, offering access to exclusive content. Gratitude is expressed to patrons and channel members for their support, as it greatly contributes to the continuation of the channel's work. Viewers are encouraged to like, subscribe, and engage with the content to further support the channel's mission. In conclusion, blessings are extended and farewells are bid with the hope of continued growth and exploration of spiritual themes.